things are made from one, and in the end, all things return to one.
In other words, one is all.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
All is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
You have passed.
Live like you could die at any moment. And in the moment, create and live in a manner that you would want to go into your next life with. Again, on some simple put vibes, but just, what's coming up a lot is for us to just really, really, really know and really, here's how the balance of taking it serious or being accountable about it, but without taking it too serious. It's about knowing that for a fact, it's highly likely that, there is some form of a reincarnation process in connection with cause and effect, aka karma. Not necessarily whether you've been naughty or nice in that essence, just more so cause and effect. Whatever actions you take, whatever seeds you plant comes with a certain fruit. And that goes into all the analogies with the Garden of Eden and stuff like that. But anyway, the tree of life or the tree of good and evil or the tree of knowledge. But, you see, I almost went off. Yeah, just simply put, again, the importance of knowing what we creating right now and how much that trickles on into our next life, into our next form of existence, because some of us are in a space where, we do want to experience something different from this earthly plane. So it's like one of those things where, all right, if you do, and it's kind of like, in essence, what this message is for, it's like, all right, if you do, then you might want to be a little more accountable and at the same time, be lighthearted. Because that's another thing. If I transition, I don't want to transition being too hard on myself or taking life too serious, It's like a balance, and that's where the toughness comes in, is the balancing act, of like, having fun doing what you do, but just knowing whatever you're doing, is a cause and effect, and you'll either, do things that will lighten your load, and allow for you to, transition into a more high vibrational state of being, no good or bad, right or wrong, just a more high vibrational state of being. Or, you're vibrating at a frequency, that'll cause you to reincarnate. But, in reference to the Bhagavad Gita, there's levels to the reincarnation process in the essence of, if you were doing your best to kind of, lighten your load, so to speak, then it will be lighter for you in the next, even though you would say, for instance, be reincarnating, it'll be lighter for you in that next life. And again, like right now, though, we're experiencing our quote unquote life review right now in this moment. Every moment is a part of our quote unquote life review. And again, from my own experience, like, this is not necessarily, well, yeah, it's research, but it's hands-on experimental research. Like when I had my DMT trip, and, felt that energy of transitioning, it literally was like me questioning myself, or like me, quote unquote, judging myself in so many words, and say me for lack of a better word. It kind of had the essence again of like you're like in front of some form of a council, like somebody is watching, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's you remembering not to take things too serious, because if you did hold grudges, or if you did, feel, holding on to guilt or shame, or again, just took things too serious, you know, then you're going to, it would be yourself holding it against yourself. Like, oh man, I should have did this. I could have did that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like just the importance of having that awareness right now is very, very important. And even seeing, again, when we talk about, it's connected with the book of Enoch. This is connected with that movie I referenced called Along with the Gods, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a Chinese movie or something like that. And it was going through the transitioning process and kind of in essence showing like how the transitioning process is almost like, going through each chakra. And speaking of, you judging yourself, in essence, it's also an essence of like, I guess that would be like the witnesses, or like the energy of how I say it felt like somebody's watching, but in essence too, it's like your own chakras or your own organs. It's like, because it's a mixture of two, or a mixture of the both, let's just say, in the essence of, your chakras are connected to certain organs of the body, and it's almost like you're on trial by your chakra system, in essence. Like, all right, how did you operate in the world of your solar plexus? How did you operate in the world in not only a WHIRL, like a spinning whirlpool, or a torus field, but again, like it's a world, like a WORLD. I mean, you could think of the perspective of like Osmosis Jones, again, like if y'all not familiar with that, but again, it was like a movie that went inside of somebody's body, and the inside of their body, in essence, turned into a whole city, and a white blood cell was personified as a cop because, the reference of the white blood cells, like, being, taking care of the immune system or health in the body or infections. So, in that personification, Osmosis Jones was like a white blood cell trying to protect the body of a human, but in their mind, it was trying to protect the city. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know they was inside a human. And the same thing with our worlds. But again, certain ailments. I remember somebody bringing that up in a while back about, if a person, say for instance, doesn't use their Kundalini energy in a righteous manner, they'll end up reincarnating with a slunched over back. You know what I'm saying? But, now we're going to start to see why we have, certain ailments in our quote unquote bloodline, like, again, the family got cancer, prostate cancer, or breast cancer, or, everybody in the family got gout, But, again, it's like if everybody in the family got gout, everybody in the family, this also tells the story of the zodiac signs. So again, mythology is anatomy by law. You think about the feet, what I'm saying, that's connected to the Pisces energy. So it was probably something with the Pisces energy that you didn't align with, or something of that nature, so you got problems with your feet, and then it passes down into the family bloodline, and that, again, that goes into the importance of the cause and effect, and like, all right, how much do you care about what's going to happen for yourself, down the line, in essence. But again, this is present in this moment, and you're creating your future. But again, the different organs, If you got knee problems, you got a problem with your Capricorn energy, you got a problem with your, probably your father, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, depending on your left and your right knee, but, because one side is feminine, one side is masculine, but the Capricorn energy in general deals with the father energy, the patriarch, you know what I'm saying? A person with pancreas problems, that's the processing the sugar, possibly some type of problems with love and probably in the connection of the mother, you know what I'm saying? So you see how like actual karmic, actions actually create physical ailments and how that correlate, it's all related, and that goes into the reincarnation process in essence too, or lack thereof, again, are going, incarnating into a space that's not in this realm. But, again, because that's how you're able to move forward as well. It's like if you didn't have no emotional blockage, because again, emotional blockages, then you probably gonna have problems with your liver, fear problems, you're gonna have problems with your kidney, you know what I'm saying, or something with balance, not balancing things out, as be with your kidneys, or, you had some problems with people who had the sun sign Virgo, and you probably have some intestinal problems. Because, if you did have problems with somebody with the sun sign Virgo, that means you had problems internal, because again, it's internal, external, that you had problems with the energy of the sixth house or the Virgo energy, you know what I'm saying? And you even get an example right there of how that even comes into play with, all right, again, the video I made called the 12 movie specialist, before you go on stage into this realm, into this illusion, into this magic show, with all these spells, again, in the movies, the movies like the subconscious, Hollywood, wood from the holly tree. But anyway, the 12 movie specialists, aka the 12 zodiac signs. And again, that's just one layer to it. It's more when you get on a macrocosmic level and you start to understand that, all right, also we probably inside of being ourselves, and, and it just, again, you could use the law of correspondence to kind of go as far in or far out as you need to be for your now moment. But you know what I'm saying, again, it's just really getting to that space where we're starting to see those karmic connections. You have problem with your home or your family, you know what I'm saying? And you probably got some problems with your chest area. And again, that's the breast cancer. And no coincidence, oh shit, that to some extent, the breast or chest area, that's kind of getting into that, the heart, chest, breast, that's the cancer energy, you know what I'm saying, of the body, you know what I'm saying. In between, Gemini, which is more so the lungs and the arms, you know what I'm saying, the dual aspect, and the Leo, which is more so the stomach, digestive, solar plexus, a little bit of that heart, but the cancer, above that, but no coincidence, breast cancer, or the scarab, like the crab, scarab beetle was represented the Cancer constellation. But anyway, again, though, that probably was some family issues and home issues, speaking from being that came into Louisiana and knowing that that's what most people dealing with in Louisiana, You know, it's that overbearing mother energy, you know. And that's why the weather is like that too. That even adds another layer on top of that. Like the weather in certain places shows the cause and effect or the karma of a certain, you know, the physical, again, as above, so below, the earth like a physical body. So certain weather conditions, you know, represent, because again, if we was like cells on a body, you know, a certain part of a person's body would be dry if it's over masculine, not, you know, where it's so much masculine energy, you know. And as I said, I just thought about like how most men don't care about the, you know, the back of their feet, you know, and it be all rough and dry and shit like a little desert, you know what I'm saying? They need that moisture, you know what I'm saying, that feminine energy to, you know, soften up those, what you call it, callus, just that extra dry skin, you know what I'm saying? But that also correlates to, again, the physical plane with deserts or dry areas, you know, again, or if there's a lot of water in the area, you know. I mean, the feminine presence is very strong, so that's rainforest, you know, again, that's Louisiana, a lot of humidity, a lot of rain, a lot of trees, a lot of swamps, you know, and rivers, and, you know, if y'all ever saw The Water Boy, living in a swamp, like that type of energy, you know what I'm saying? Again, that's also, you know, more leaning towards the dark side energy of the water, you know. Because in Louisiana, you know, it's not clear beaches and none of that, you know, it's murky, muddy water. You know what I'm saying? No good or bad, but, you know, you just get a awareness of what you're dealing with and where you at. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, again, you see in the full basis of the reincarnation cycles, in essence, you know, and how that changes in this now moment, you know, because not only we doing things to reverse curses, so to speak, or to, you know, change certain karmic cycles within our physical body, but then that also translates into actions we take externally, you know, which changes the environment. And so now certain environments might be popping when it wasn't popping at one time. So to say popping, like, you know, like, again, where the energy is, you know, on point, and, you know, like places where you never would expect it, you know. That's kind of like also connecting that, you got the eclipse coming on 2024, and it's supposed to be crossing a little area called Little Egypt, somewhere in Illinois or something like that. That spot might pop off, but I'm just, you know, giving an example of, you know, again, like just, you know, internal release of certain karmic cycles, or external, you know. But like the Avatar on, not the movie, but the cartoon, you know, balancing out all those elements and keeping the balance in the body, you know what I'm saying, or in the world. And that goes to the chakras, you know, and again, pointing to the whole planetary connection with Saturn and the moon, and why they call it the Saturn moon matrix. You know, Saturn cause and effect time, you know, the actions and how you're being responsible, you know, with quote unquote time. And then, you know, the moon is the emotions, the memories, the subconscious, you know, because that's where ghosts come from. Ghosts is associated with the moon energy, and that's why most moon goddess, you know, are people who deal with that darker energy, deal with ghosts. You know what I'm saying? They know how to move around old dark memories. You know what I'm saying? Them old phantoms of the past, you know. Or even on deeper levels, you know, talk about MK Ultra and things of that nature, know how to plant seeds to try to trigger, you know, some type of programming, within, within your psyche or subconscious that, connects you with, again, some type of traumatic memory or something like that. I spoke on, how deeply, weird, not say weird, but just how real the MK Ultra shit is. But how, the movie Mulholland Drive, again, I always give a disclaimer every time I bring up this movie, because again, I learned that about the movies, like you gotta be careful because some of the shit is programming you, like it's casting that spell on you for you to kind of get cool with some of the shit you seeing in this movie, in these movies, or to even get, like subconsciously programmed by, again, I forgot how it was spoken of in that book, Esoteric Hollywood, that I would always bring up. But it's like, you being initiated just by watching the movie. I brought up that about Eyes Wide Shut. It's like just by, like, say for instance, like you never probably believed in gang stalking, but by watching Eyes Wide Shut or something like that, you might end up, but again, you got to know yourself, you got to know I'm straight, like what I'm watching is trying to program me. I know I'm straight, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be, pretty strong to deal with certain movies, because Mulholland Drive, I feel, is like that. It's like just watch it and I'm like, bro, I feel like, like that's what I felt like my inner being was like letting me know, like, man, if it wasn't for how strong you are, this movie would, be triggering or just have some type of vibe to it. Like you gotta know what you're doing watching this one, type of energy. But, again, it got one of those creepy vibes, like, and I always get that vibe when something is real on that level. It's like, it's real, real creepy. As if, like, my soul let me know, like, that this exists. And maybe I even, seen it or came close to it in one of my lifetimes, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily doing it to people, but just, knowing that level of magic and wizardry and all that exists, But yeah, again, I think I was probably stemming from the movie, bringing up the 12 movie specialist. But yeah, again, it's that vibe of, just seeing that the karmic energies are real and just having that balance of, being accountable while being lighthearted, knowing that, again, you're creating, live the type of life that, like, all right, in essence, like if I transition right now, I'll be straight. I feel the best that I could feel. Why? Because you're doing the best that you could do in the moment. Like that. I mean, that's all you could do is the best that you can do in the moment, and transitioning, feeling like that feel good compared to like transitioning in a state of like depression or anxiety or doubt, or fear, That doesn't mean that, we might have temporary moments of like, having a fear pop up that we have to face or, a small moment of doubt that we surpass, but it's like not getting stuck in it because that creates like an imprint in our, some may say DNA, Akashic records, but that creates some type of imprint that, just like with any habit, that will go into the space of Rupert Sheldrake and, the morphogenic field, where the past shapes, the habits of the past shapes the now moment, and that I did a video on tradition and memory and being aware of that, again, and that's where I was probably stemming from, also again with the moon and the Saturn energy, and being aware of the emotional aspect. And maybe that's why I was meant to finish that part, again. And the moon being like a projector in connection with movies too. But, and that's probably where I stem from, the subconscious, and the emotions. But, just having that awareness to make sure we're doing that inner work, facing our shadows, getting to know ourselves to the highest ability is our best protection, and things getting real, where like certain chakra ailments, it ain't to be played with, because you don't want your future to be, you having to deal with the same blockage in your solar plexus that you always had, or just the same blockage that you and your family dealt with, or the same stomach problems, because, again, the solar plexus, stomach problems, spleen, the spirit attachments, you know what I'm saying? People having headaches or head injuries, problems with their Aries energy, or, following, their own perspectives, and again, that also goes back into the North Node, South Node thing, and the lesson loops and the serpent video I did with the North Nodes and about lesson loops and memories. And again, like the moon nodes, Rahu, Ketu, and the whole vibe of, like, again, our habitual nature in essence stems from, the moon energy. It stems from the subconscious, because whatever's programming the subconscious is gonna, that's what we're gonna align with until we reprogram it otherwise, you know what I'm saying? So again, that goes not only into the day-to-day, because now all dimensions exist right now. So that means even the dimension of you transitioning exists right now, you know what I'm saying? And it's not to get, oh shit, like nah, it ain't nothing. Again, because that's the key, and that's why it's important to be aware of how I'm wording this and bringing it up, because, the name of the game is to, bring this up while bringing up solutions, and to not, it's not for anything to be, scary or afraid of, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, just being accountable and keeping it real, because that's one thing, with bringing forth this information, I realize like there is a manner where you do want to bring it up, in a manner where you don't like rattle a person's cage or, again, fear monger them. But it's just some shit that just you can't go around, like you just got to keep it real about it. Like anything other than keeping it real about it is in essence lying and being fake about the situation. It's like, all right, there's no other way to say that you gotta, you got a responsibility with, the whole karmic process and dealing with your cycles, dealing with your inner work, knowing that, again, like that's the case, like there's a possible reincarnation if you ain't, releasing certain shit, like that comes with the territory. But again, it ain't like at the same time, it's what you make it, it's how you deal with it, it's how you respond. Are you reacting or are you responding, you know what I'm saying? And responding differently than we did in past lives, or another, you know what I'm saying? Or 10 minutes ago, you know what I'm saying? Because time is relative on that level, to whether it's 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 years, But it's, again, taking care of all that. But you see how the moon energy comes in with that, them emotions, And trying not to go too repetitive, that's why I'm just referencing some stuff without having to keep, going over it word for word, referencing certain videos in connection with what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. But, yeah, that's basically it, like living your life again. Like, all right, if I was to transition right now, and then if I was to transition right now, like, all right, now is a vibrate. If I find myself dealing with a sickness that's very, tough, like, it's very, it keeps tugging away at my energy. Let's just say, like I'm dealing with some type of mental, emotional, or physical process that's just really coming at me hard. Then, now's the vibrate. Do the best you can in your now moment, to start loving yourself, taking care of yourself, that way, whatever you go into in the next life, it'll be built off of the foundation of you starting to embrace one, because in order to diagnose something, you got to admit it's there. So like you admit like, all right, I got to heal my feet. There is a problem with my feet. And again, you don't speak it like it's going to continue. Like, you just acknowledging like, all right, I do need to, heal my feet. There's something there, but I will heal it. Like my feet getting better and better every day. My feet getting better and better you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, just working from where you're at. And understand the game of percentage, increase your healthy habits more and more each moment, and you'll see more and more of those results, and it'll make it easier and easier to, let go and release things that no longer serve you. And again, especially dealing with the physical aspect of the health, that's why I also brought in, again, another video with the supplements for depression and the crystals you can work with for depression. Because that depression coming up because of the karmic energy, that's past energies, old karmic baggage, energies of not forgiving ourselves, energies of, being afraid to do shadow work. So it's like all that type of shit coming up, because it's like that crossroads energy, you know what I'm saying? We talk about tricksters, crossroad energy, you know what I'm saying? It's that energy to, move past all of that, all them past ghosts, like Mr. Scrooge, the ghost of Christmas past and all that, you know what I'm saying? Gotta move past that energy. And again, you got more than enough, resources, again, what's really the case, man, like, that's why I've been laughing at myself, as I've been meditating more and being more present, it's just like, damn, this shit really be all of mine, that type of shit, Because again, it goes to that simple, application. If you find yourself like you feel like you're getting too anxious or you're too into the past, like, where am I right now? Like, ask myself, where am I right now? Like, all right now I'm in the kitchen. All right now I'm, playing basketball. Right now I'm on my computer. Right now, you know what I'm saying? But you bring yourself into the now moment, or you breathe, take your attention into your body, like focus on your stomach or your hips or your knees, or being anchored to the ground, with your aura, like whatever, but it's like bring yourself to the present moment. And that's what you got to make the habit out of, simply. It's just persistence and making sure you stay present. And having the flexibility to stay present, and also understand that being present is a multi-dimensional thing as well. It ain't just like, oh, I'm just present. I'm just like, yeah, the importance is on being present in this now moment, on our human experience. And at the same time, again, in this present moment, multiple dimensions exist in this present moment, as well. So it's like having to, again, bring that all in the full circle, but it's all aligning. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. And again, transitioning, being present, considering the full, the multidimensional aspect of your now moment and what that means karmically. And how important it is to make sure that your every action is pure of heart. You're not doing nothing to cause some type of shit that, would, entice you to have to reincarnate, or at least, again, like being aware that, like, all right, if you was like considering reincarnation, at least you could make it, as easy on yourself as possible, like, because it's not one of those things, and just think about it like that. That'll help you to not do that. What I'm about to say is like, you may feel like, oh man, fuck, I gotta reincarnate, and in essence, it's like, say for instance, almost like, oh fuck, I'm about to die, from the perspective of how most humans would think, like, oh, I'm just about to die, and that's it for me, when that's not true. So it's like, don't treat it like that, like, well, oh fuck, I gotta reincarnate. So I might, when people get that, like, well, I might as well say fuck it and do this and do that and just drink and say fuck it. It's like, well, I mean, again, considering, that, do you want to go bring that type of energy into the next space, or into your next reincarnation? Or if you're reincarnating, do you want to just be like, well, fuck it, let me be as healthy as I can from this moment on, let me do, and bring that energy, because again, whether it is reincarnation or not reincarnating, that's the key, that's the message right here. Whether incarnating or reincarnating, saying incarnating meaning, going, leaving this earth plane, going into a higher existence of, a higher dimension of existence. Either one, you want to do it feeling the best that you could feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, how some people even say, I would want to transition laughing, or, that type of shit. I want to transition, doing something, pleasurable, what. Now, of course, pleasurable in the sense of, again, if the cause and effect or the consequences that come with that pleasure ain't causing more heavy karma, then, but that's your choice to make, It's not mine. I can't tell you what to do. It's just like, what's favorable for, for you and what's not favorable for you. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're trying to experiment and learn from experiment, and what you're not trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, that you don't want to get too caught up in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know yourself and know what you're dealing with, and also understand that at this point, you're going to even start to sense that whatever you're dealing with, like whatever types of, lesson loops or just energies, you seem like you just keep being triggered by, like, if you're not one of those people that could like see exactly what past life, you were dealing with in certain times. Definitely know that whatever triggers and things you're dealing with right now, and again, you may start to see it, like you may sense like what exactly, like especially again, you make sure you ask your inner being, ask yourself, inner being, like, this trigger, like what happened to me? Like, what happened, what I went through, and, what's the solution, what I need to know to, respond differently to this, where you need to, what I'm saying, you'll get more insight on that. But again, most triggers and things you're dealing with right now is the telltale sign of, past life situations, you know what I'm saying? So it's like for us to really, really learn, like, all right, especially for the springtime, as we go through the winter, preparing the spring into action, seeing all that shit, again, that would just keep seeing the repeat on. It's like, all right, I keep doing something, man. I keep, because again, another thing, and you think about that, I transition. I don't want to transition in a manner where a person could just do any certain things and it triggers a certain reaction out of me, because then that means wherever I'm going, I'm going to be, in essence, I'm going to be able to be controlled in some way if I'm still being triggered by emotions in that type of manner, you know what I'm saying? And for the most part, you don't want to, again, go into the next space, being that sensitive to certain triggers. Because in essence, that's also a reason why, again, it's like, all right, having to go back into the reincarnation process to deal with this chakra energy, or heal this, family thing, but again, gratitude for the ability to, be able to, heal ourselves. But, again, that's definitely, the veil is being pulled back for sure in that energy. And that's why all of us been doing our best to, like, keep it real. Where it's like, we don't really say Earth is like no straight up just hell in that essence. But then, again, if we're going to keep it 100% real, we're not going to try to make it seem like, oh, it's just peaches and cream and, oh, the indigo children in the light and the, like, yeah, you got the light and you got the heavenly, oh, like that definitely could be created, in this now moment, And then there's also other things that could be created in this now moment that ain't so pleasurable, even if you like pain, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's just some things that ain't, that ain't butterflies and ice cream in this realm too, because of the duality and understanding not to get caught up in the duality. Because again, everything ain't peaches and cream. I ain't gonna judge that. It's neither good nor bad. And there are some things that's butterflies and ice cream, but I ain't gonna judge that as good or bad. And hence, again, bringing forward that balance so we're not caught up in the pendulum swing from one extreme to another. But now is the vibrate, healing every timeline, every dimension. For real, for real, for real. It's not just no corny saying at the beginning of my video. You know, again, accountability, like it's shit real, but then, don't take it too serious. But for sure, now's the vibrate, taking care of these karmic energies, lightening that load, you know. Yeah, that's what it is. Now's a vibrate. Peace.